Welcome to today's Explainer, everyone. I am absolutely thrilled you're here with us right now, because honestly, we're about to unpack something that literally affects every single one of us every single day. We're diving deep into the undeniable connection between what we eat and how we think. If you've ever wondered why some days you just feel like this unstoppable force of productivity, and other days you can barely keep your eyes open staring at your screen, well, you are in the perfect place. Today, we're going to reveal how our daily dietary habits, both the really good ones and the bad ones, completely transform not just our cognitive performance, but our entire physical environment. So get ready, because what we're looking at today is going to change how you view your very next meal.
Okay, let's dive right into this. Energy or fatigue, it all starts on your plate. That's not just some catchy little phrase, it is absolute biological reality. Every single bite of food we take is basically a set of instructions we're handing over to our brains and bodies. When we think about cultivating good habits or falling victim to bad ones, we usually think about scheduling, right? Or maybe willpower or time management. But this source material forces us to look at the literal foundation of our energy. The choices we make at the breakfast table or grabbing that quick lunch break, they totally dictate the mental and physical bandwidth we have to tackle our day.
And this brilliantly illustrates the whole sliding doors scenario we face every single day. It's a massive fork in the road. On one path, we've got a life built on solid, good habits. On the exact opposite path, a life built on bad habits. It's the exact same basic setup, just a person sitting at their desk working, but the outcomes are completely, drastically different. What you eat decides how you think. It's not just about weight or physical fitness, it is entirely about your brain's processing power. We're going to break down both of these paths in detail to see how they totally govern our daily existence.
Section 1. The brain and plate connection. We're going to break down these micro habits, the specific items sitting on the plate that lead to the macro results in our work and our life.
Just look at the crazy contrast in these inputs. Good habits are built on a foundation of vibrant, nutrient-dense whole foods. We're talking rich salmon packed with brain-boosting omega-3s, creamy avocados for healthy fats that give you sustained fuel, and crisp water for essential hydration. Throw in some spinach and walnuts, and you've got the crucial vitamins required for crisp, sustained energy. But on the flip side, the bad habits rely on sugary soda, heavy donuts, greasy pizza, and processed white bread. These heavy, sluggish inputs completely lack the micronutrients your brain is begging for, driving two very different, very extreme physiological outcomes.
Let's move to Section 2, Anatomy of a Bad Habit, and see exactly how this builds. We really need to understand the mechanics of why poor nutrition betrays our focus.
When we fall into this fatigue and crash cycle, the physical manifestation of misery and exhaustion is just undeniable. I mean, we've all been there, right? Slumped over, totally drained, battling that heavy mental fog. The junk food didn't just satisfy a quick craving, it physically depleted the entire system. You end up with those dark circles, a totally defeated posture, and instead of a healthy, firing brain, you're basically battling a dark, heavy, gray rain cloud of exhaustion. It's tough. This is exactly what a bad dietary habit looks like in real time.
Now, what's really interesting about this is how that internal state just totally bleeds out into the external environment. The bad habits doesn't stay contained in the body. A desk cluttered with messy papers, old pizza boxes, empty soda cans, it perfectly mirrors a chaotic, tangled brain state. Even the lighting around you somehow feels darker and gloomier when you're trapped in this cycle. Basically, when you feed your brain junk, your output and your environment become junk too.
The biological timeline of a bad habit is rapid, and man, it is unforgiving. Step 1, you take in those high-sugar, highly processed foods. Step 2 is that brief, temporary, artificial energy spike. It's a quick dopamine and insulin rush that totally tricks your body. You feel amazing for a minute, but then comes Step 3, the inevitable crash. Time runs out so fast on fake energy. That massive plunge in blood sugar leaves you just staring blankly at your monitor, completely robbed of focus, just trying to survive the rest of the afternoon.
All right, let's shake off that heavy, sluggish feeling and step into the light to look at the healthy solution. Section 3, Anatomy of a Good Habit.
Conversely, this sharp and focused state is an absolute breath of fresh air. Notice the immediate difference here. Upright, alert, engaged posture. A vibrant, energized brain sparking fresh ideas, while smooth, friction-free cognitive processing just takes over. This is the massive paradigm shift that happens when you fuel your system with intention. That slight confident smile and illuminated mind, they're the direct results of giving your brain the exact biological tools it actually needs to thrive.
And just as bad habits infect the environment, good habits completely elevate it. A highly organized workspace, prominently displaying hydration that naturally emerges when your brain isn't constantly battling just for basic energy. Those nutrient-dense whole foods directly support a clean environment and the crystal-clear mental state you need to actually hit your targets and absorb new information. The whole setup becomes bright, engaging, and perfectly optimized for high-level productivity.
Which brings us to a beautiful definition of being sharp and focused. It is a state of mental clarity, sustained energy, and goal-oriented processing, all fueled by nutrient-dense dietary habits. This right here is the ultimate state of flow. It unlocks high-level learning, insane retention, and the ability to just stay on task without getting distracted. And it's entirely driven by the good habit of choosing whole, energizing foods that give you a steady, reliable stream of power rather than that awful, volatile spike and crash. So, having seen both sides of this equation in vivid detail, we arrive at our final stage, Section 4, choosing your energy path. We're bringing these diverging paths back together because ultimately, you hold the immense power to choose your state.
So the crucial point is the direct, inescapable correlation between your plate and your life experience. An energy-focused diet, built on good habits, whole foods, healthy fats and greens, translates directly to a sharp brain and a tidy, productive environment. On the flip side, relying on the bad habits of simple carbs and sugars pretty much guarantees a crash and a cluttered, chaotic environment. It's literally a one-to-one relationship. Your inputs dictate your outputs.
Which leaves us with the most important question of this entire explainer. What are you gonna put on your plate today? Seriously, will you choose the path of the tangled storm cloud, the messy desk, and that inevitable afternoon crash? Or will you choose the vibrant, glowing brain, the crisp focus, and the sustained energy you need to conquer your goals? The choice is entirely yours, and it literally starts with your very next meal. Thank you so much for joining me to explore this fascinating source material. Make a great choice today and stay focused.